think for me the pervading, the common denominator in it all is, in what we do, is music, and that isn't going to change necessarily. I mean, it changes styles, and you know, but that's the, you know, that's the idea, is right there. It's like, you know, when you for me anyway, it's like falling in love with a beautiful girl for me, you know, and there are many beautiful girls walking past me in the street, but then it's like boom, you see the one, and then that's it, and it's those ideas that make for great music. And there's different ways to take that particular girl out to dinner.
Some strange euphemism.
I know. I'll leave that metaphor there. So I don't think it's really, you know, for me, I can only speak from our experience, from my experience. I lament the loss of, you know, what I experienced with being able to do whatever it was, you know, have a chunk of change thrown at, you know, this thing, get to go off and do this thing. You have an opportunity, and it's really something that doesn't exist anymore, or rarely, not in the same. And that's I'm kind of pained about that, because, you know, I think there may be something lost in that. However, essentially it's the same thing, you know. It just perhaps is not so. The bubble that can create that kind of utopia isn't there. And so you have to create it yourself if you want to do that. The good thing about having a lot of money to do that is it really affords you an opportunity that is unlike anything else. However, you can squander that just in the same way anyway. So, you know, for me, it boils down to that idea. And that's not going to change, I don't think. And the capturing of that is going to alter, you know, as technology alters. And technology is always altering, you know, it has been here. I mean, recording music is a fairly new concept. It's not really been around that long. But the idea of a song has been around since, you know, Neolithic times. This is how we pass information along, and this is all what we're here for, is about, you know, sharing in something, whether it be this or whether it be, you know, a folk tune or whatever it is, you know, or a rap song or anything. It's a form of experience that we share, and you know, I don't think that's going to change, personally. Somebody said the other day about Thelonious Monk was asked who he listens to, and he said, I listen to all music. And he said, the interviewer said, what, even country and western music? And he turned around and said, is he deaf or what? Because, you know, I listen to all music too. I think it's very difficult to say. I mean, I can be specific, but I hear things all the time. I think when I'm recording, I try not to listen to music so much, because usually if I'm working all day on something, I come home, I don't really want to hear more. I actually want to just hear. And that's true of touring too, because it's usually like, you know, generally I think music can put you in a kind of, it can lift you up. So maybe before I play, it's nice to listen to some music. Specifically, you know, I get introduced to things. People mention that my ex-wife introduced me to this band called the Growlers. I like them. I listen to the Alt J. Do you listen to the Alt J record?
I listened to it the other night. I
listened to that. Yeah. It was good. I like that a lot. I say I just gotten into, like, you know, I used to be a choir boy over here at the Leeds Parish Church, and I've been listening to a lot of that kind of stuff. It's really quite incredibly profound music. This guy Henry Balfour Gardner. I was just telling my mum this morning I had to play it. Is it unbelievable? You know, to listen to all aspects of music, even country and western music. I listen to as many. I knew going into it, working with Bryce and working with these guys, that I had some level of assurance that it was gonna be where I wanted it to be. you know, you never know. There is an element of risk, but I think having done it now, for what this record is, I think it's great. I'm really, really happy with it. It also feels to me something that's, you know, it's a bit like it's a bit like my ex-wife. I love her. I'll always love her, but I don't really want to be around her that much anymore. So it's kind of how I feel, you know. I don't know if I should have said that, should I?
It all stays on.
No, I do want to be around it, but you know, that it's a recording now, and that's that little piece of history. So it's kind of, I'm super grateful for it, as I am her, by the way, just want to say. And it's just something that is that time, but for what that is of that time, I'm super happy with it, super happy. Which I can say about the first 2 records we did. I can't really say that about the 3rd record. It's always been a little bit of a bugbear for me that you know, creatively there was a sense of, you know, there were things that were, you know, forces at work that were not necessarily copacetic with making a great record. I've always tried to make great records, the ones that I've released. That one's a bit of a letdown for me personally, but this one isn't. This one is the record that I wanted to make, having made that one. So you know, I couldn't be happier with it right now, but I want to make another one. That's just me.
And what do you think the opportunities are now to be going and making another record? I mean, you know, I mean, is it as easy now as going and making it, considering that you've taken 2 years to make this one?
Well, you know, the more success you have, the easier it becomes to do that and be more prolific as a result in terms of work. But for us, it's, you know, we, you know, dug ourselves a bit of a grave in 2001, and getting out of that is hard work. You know, it means like doing this, coming here, not here tonight, but coming to England.
You don't have to be if you don't want to.
No. But I mean, coming to you know, coming back to play here, it's a great opportunity. But it's also like we have to prove that we can do it still and function. You know, actually get up and play. Now we know that, you know, we can do it, but there's a sense of, you know, bridge building that needs to be done, and that like anything, it takes time and it takes effort, and but you know, ultimately it's a very rewarding thing to do. Yeah.
How do you measure success these days? Because you know, look, you know, this is not going to be a massive record unless something quite incredible happens, which I hope it does. But you know, the reality of the situation is that you've not got a major record label behind you. You've not got money to throw at plugging the record. So how do you measure success now with what you're doing here, what you're doing with this record? What's the measure for you?
I guess right now it's just if it provides us with an ability to make another one, you know. I'm not looking too far beyond that, just given all the aforementioned restrictions and new technologies and stuff. As one door closes, namely retail and CDs, you know, another one opens with our concert that we're doing for Stage It and for the David Lynch Foundation. You know, we have an opportunity to reach a lot of people in a way that perhaps a CD in a store like Tower Records or HMV of old wouldn't. You know, those, you can look back on those days and be like, oh, wasn't it great when blah, 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 but you know, the truth is that they have pitfalls and problems of their own. You know, I remember going out with Spacehog and bands before Spacehog, and you know, you'd be working on a record for 2 years and you'd play a show with someone like Preston and it was nowhere to be seen in the stores. It's like, you know, at least with this record, people can just access it immediately and they can hear it, even if they're not paying for it. They can at least hear it. And and know what we're all about. So, you know, it's not all bad. It's just different.
Being able to, get to play music at the end of the day, it's pretty successful, I think. In whatever context. Only because of the way that reflects in my life and who I am. Being there's a lot of very miserable rich people. So whether it comes to financial, it depends what kind of success you're talking about. For me now, really, really is success is having an impact, a shared impact with somebody else in that kind of communion, of music, and being a part of that. And if that's with you, what you said when we started this conversation about, well, I gave it a listen, wasn't sure, but then, that's success right there. You know what I mean? Because you and I, we have this thing, and now it's yours too. That's purely yours, and also, you know what I mean? So
absolutely. So I was just having a moment there. No, thank you. No, I'm not being. No, stop laughing. I'm not being facetious. Fucking hell. Thank you. That was really lovely.
There's a real. I think there's the earth is true, and it really is connected to the people of Yorkshire, and so it's good to be here and for you to be fanning those flames. So thank you for being here. Yeah.
It's been nice, hasn't it? Yeah. It's all right, isn't it? Yeah. So we're having a chat. Thank you.
Listen, thank you.
Johnny Cragg, Royston Landon, Spacehog.